guys from
Great, thank you.
2-4? We're up on the top of the hill.
About 54
2-3.
minutes. I'll come in before that's over in case y'all need
Okay.
to go longer and I'll get y'all a new card.
Echo,
Actually,
would
I'll
that be
stop
Echo
also,
2-3?
Great.
Well,
Thanks, Clay.
Foxtrot, but they rotated companies on that ridge.
Okay.
They-
Let's do this. Let's go with the May 19th event first. And then it sounds like we can move to Foxtrot pretty easily.
Yes, two separate, distinctly separate.
Okay. All right. May 19th, 1968. Okay. Ken, why don't you go ahead and tell us what was were these multiple platoons, single platoon, 5 tanks? Who all was involved in the event?
Dave might be the best guy to start because he was the platoon leader, and I'm sure that he got the call from the CP or somebody to mount a reaction force to go and help out the convoy that was ambushed. So Dave might be a better source to start off.
I don't know about the source part, but I do recall, what, 3 tanks?
Yep.
We had
Heavy
3
tanks.
Okay.
And we'd heard there had been a situation at Quezon, and I think it was the sweep team, the mine sweep team coming out of Quezon had some trouble. There was something going on. And we left the Hawk headed for Quezon, and as we got near the base, I remember seeing those trucks that were on the road that were shot up, blown up.
There was a tank on fire and
RPGs.
cooking off. You could hear the 90 rounds cooking off in the turret.
That part I can't recall. The things were a little bit closer than that.
So but that tank was part of the road sweep.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Not part of your.
That was a Bravo
Was it-
Company
yes.
first
It wasn't
platoon
Lieutenant
tank.
Hines' tank,
Okay.
was it?
No.
I think it
What
was,
Hines'
So
I think it was Fred Kellogg's tank.
So you went out with 3
That's
tanks.
right.
Who was in the lead tank?
Dave, I
Dave?
think.
Okay.
Dave was-
You're the TC there.
Yeah.
He was a
I
platoon
was at
leader.
Bridge 35, and you guys come by, and you gave me a call to join you when you came by.
Okay.
And I-
So you joined the other 2 tanks
Yes.
heading toward Quezon.
I don't know which where we was going to Foxtrot.
Yeah, we were probably only maybe
So I was on
less than a
3-2.
mile
You had
from where they
3-1. I
triggered
don't know
the
what tank
ambush,
you were
yeah.
on.
I think you were on 3-5, I thought.
Hold
Yeah,
it, what
we were.
tank were we on? You said,
I can't remember, Dave.
okay, I can't either, because you said you were the gunner
I think
that
it was
day.
32.
Okay.
So I was on 3-2.
You were on
Yeah, it had to
3-2.
be.
Yeah.
Might have been 3-4 then. I can't
We
remember.
could've- yeah, 'cause-
I'm sorry. I can't remember.
Darrell was the TC on 3-1. And we were sitting at Bridge 3-5, because we ended up getting stuck there for the night. Because of something that happened on the 18th, we ended up,
Right.
only could make it to Bridge 3-5 with an escort.
Okay.
And so we were sitting there that morning, and I remember it's like 7:30 in the morning. We're all sitting around drinking that wonderful sea ration coffee out of our homemade cups. And
Heated by C4.
like the little kids would tell you, all of a sudden the bees are buzzing overhead. It's the rounds. The sweep team had triggered an ambush prematurely. And as they say, the rest started. And I always thought that Darrell had called back to the Hawk, to Dave, to tell him what's going on.
I
Because
think that's right.
X number time
We couldn't
later,
figure
they
out
all
what the bees
show
were
up.
going over for, and someone yelled incoming.
Yeah.
So
That's
I
when
mean,
we
you-
realized there was rounds going over us.
Dave, on his way to the ambush, passes by you guys where you're already out.
Yeah, we're sitting there.
We're right close to it. We didn't have any brakes at the time. Did
So
you
there
have
were
any
2
taken
tanks from the
RPG?
Hawk, picked up the 3rd tank from
Gotcha.
Bridge 35.
Okay.
That little hill, whatever that hill was.
Yeah.
And you didn't have any brakes?
Well, kinda.
Kind of.
They weren't the best brakes, let's just put it that way.
We weren't.
We could stop,
weren't
but we
too
didn't want to go
mechanically
fast.
functional and
Right.
that brakes, who cares? You have track, that may be
Yeah, I
more.
know.
It would
really.
eventually stop.
So who was the first, which tank got to the ambush first? Okay, what'd you see, Dave?
I just, saw this, that, and the other, and looking around and, holy shit. And I do recall seeing some NBA bodies, like popped up against the tree. My first thought was, there's some loot here. Because we were all out and trying to grab belt buckles and and then more fire, and all of a sudden, holy shit. Ducked down inside there and had them vision blocks, you know, up around the cupola, and a red golf ball flew by. I was like, what the hell? That can't be good. And then we made radio contact
I remember
with the
that.
guys on the other end. And Bookie brought up a point that they said, no, don't return fire. We've got them trapped now. We're
Bring
gonna
in
send an
interpreters.
interpreter up. We're
Get 'em
gonna try to
surrender.
get them to surrender.
And there were friendlies all over the place.
Yeah, it was,
Yes, it was not clear.
but them little peckerheads were starting to pop out of the spider holes
Yeah.
and that. And we went online,
Yeah.
more or less, and according to Bogey, I would never disobey an order, but I just,
I can't imagine you doing that.
Never.
we opened up.
Okay.
We opened it.
Now, is this on the sides of the road, or were you,
Yeah,
They
they
were
were,
three abreast.
okay,
here's
So
the
I was on the
road,
right of the road, I know that.
so there was the road, and here's Quezon, here's us, and then my part of the deal, or the action that I saw, was on this side.
I think we were on the left
That's
side.
where the ambush
Yeah.
people
No,
were.
I don't know who was in the center of the
so
room.
you started firing
Don't remember.
bucket shot and flechette, or anything you could chamber?
All we fired was machine gun.
Yeah,
30 gallons all
coax.
week.
Yeah.
Pretty much all
No
machine gun.
90, I don't remember any 90.
I don't,
We
I
fired
think all we
coax.
fired was machine gun.
Yeah, because we were afraid, not knowing,
The base was in
yeah.
front of us.
Oh, okay.
My preference
Was
would
that
have
where we
been
requested to fire that
canister.
bunk? They kept throwing that
Yes,
hand grenade out of the
Yeah,
bunker.
yeah.
So on the left side of the road, one of those Bravo tanks was on fire and cooking off, and I
Yep.
could hear the 90 rounds cooking off. And then we were on the right side of the road that I remember, and that's where the gooks were. And it was very difficult to know where the enemy was and where the friendlies
Yeah.
were.
Right.
That was awkward.
And when you talk about friendlies, you're not talking about civilians. You're talking
No,
Oh,
no,
no.
Marines,
Marines.
No
US
civilians.
Marines.
No, we had Marines
No,
in front
no
of us.
civilians.
Yeah, the
Those
tank that was
civilians up there.
burning was Fred Kellogg's tank.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he was part of the road sweep.
Yeah, he was the lead vehicle, I believe, behind the
Oh, so that's
minesweeper.
where he fits in this scenario, okay.
Yeah, they were
I don't
on the base.
Yeah, his tank
We
took 4 or 5
actually-
RPG hits.
Yeah, they were coming out, as I vaguely remember a little bit now that you guys were talking about it. They were coming out when they got hit, and we come up to,
Yeah.
Tank still in the middle of the road?
No, it was off the road. It
was off the road.
It was off.
The
It was
one
off.
was
road.
off, I remember, and that was probably Fred's, and there was another one that was farther down
Yeah.
towards the base.
But I
They had
remember
a
the
couple
truck,
RPG
so,
holes
I
in
don't
it,
know
and it
why.
was abandoned.
Right.
So, I don't remember it being on the road or not, I just remember it was
I'm
close to
just
the
so
base.
amazed how shot up this, 6x was.
It's pretty clear it was an ambush site.
Oh, yeah. And
Now,
they
so your
were,
reference, did you disperse the ambush, or did it get hotter and fire after
I would say we did a pretty good
we
job. there.
Eventually.
ended that ambush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
we did.
The
We actually
firefight
ran
actually
over-
lasted.
We took care of it very well.
Well, now, my driver, Sam, after the F4 came in and spread nape, he wanted to go and run over those crispy critters.
Who called in the,
Grunts, I guess, I don't know, maybe Dave.
Or somebody
well,
from
me,
Quezon.
I
because-
had no
I think it was
contact.
the grunts.
Yeah,
Maybe, but F4 came by, low and slow in one pass, nothing happened, went up, did a loop, came back, and I can remember that canister, you know how they are, they're not very aerodynamic, it was
That's not
tumbling
Pegasus,
and tumbling, and
No.
crap, I don't think that guy was
That's
200
Pegasus.
foot off the deck, I don't know what he was.
That's that ambush on
But
Pegasus.
as I was telling these fellows, I remember the pilot had his mask undone, and I was looking through the TC vision blocks, and I was looking right at his face, and I could have swore he was looking right at my face. And he went through, and he pulled and did what he did,
Pegasus.
and then the nape splashed, and I could just feel that rush of warmth. And then Sam wanted to run over those crispy critters. And I told him, do not do that. You're gonna get goop guts all in the suspension. We're gonna have to clean it out. It's gonna stink. It's gonna be a mess. But you remember,
Somebody
he
had to
was
do that
very
when they did that.
undisciplined. He
maybe
did it anyway.
You were terrible.
He did it anyway. So he ran over a couple of those crispy critters, and it was messy, you know.
Yeah.
how that was.
Well, I know we ran over one spider hole for sure.
It was active. There was a guy in there shooting, he was active,
He
yes.
wasn't active after that. But I mean, that's how close they were.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize it until it's like, oh shit. Because, you know, one experience with the RPG winging by was enough to really make me very aware this would not end well. They actually could hit.
Well, it seems to me when it was early on, you know, and, you know, in a 7-hour firefight, what the hell is early on, but.
7 hour?
That's, the battle ended up lasting 7 hours.
Yeah, it took a while.
Give or take a minute. But I remember we were here, Dave's tank was on our right, and I don't know who was on your right, but it made difference, couldn't see him anyway.
Right.
And in between us, there was I remember it as this massive bunker with huge timbers. And what I understand now was there was the opening, then there was a blocking wall, then the infantry guys were throwing hand grenades in. And the hand grenades just bounced back out. And they would shoot in and nothing. They finally stopped because they couldn't do anything to the bunker. And I remember listening on the headset, and Darrell called Dave and said, we got this bunker, can we use the 90 on it? Instantly a negative. Too many friendlies. Right. Because if we had shit, how I'd blown this thing straight up, we'd have killed everybody within 30 feet, whether they're good, bad, or ugly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I told him, hey, let's just do a neutral steer. You know, and so I hear him call Dave. Yeah, he authorizes it. I drive onto the bunker, I do a neutral steer. As it starts to collapse, I back it off. And then the grunts run up and do their thing. But before all this happens, I got to backtrack. When we're watching this, the grunts do their thing here, there's like this pause. You know, it's like a John Wayne movie. Oh, everybody stops, must be a cigarette break or something. And this, I remember him as a tall, skinny NVA soldier in a brand new uniform, or clean, I guess maybe. Comes out of the bunker, takes his Chi-Con grenade, pulls the string, and flips it like that towards the tank.
At the tank.
Towards the tank. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's got a terrible arm. He'll never make the big leagues because the grenade goes like this. I'm looking, he's going to throw it right over the top of the tank. So I forget about it. I find out later that afternoon, hit him in the chest with a hand grenade.
Oh my gosh.
Silly guy was standing up watching. I don't know.
Tell him where it ended up.
Oh, well, but it hit him in the chest and goes down the slope plate. Well, the really smart driver had the hatch open.
Like the TC had his hatch open.
Pretty much like this. This much of me is sitting up and I'm driving. I hear this rattle, 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 and it lands in my lap. I look down and I'm thinking to myself, you're dead. Oh, it's a dud. I throw it away.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided I would drop the seat and close the hatch. You don't got to tell me twice. And then, of course, we went on about our business, crushed the bunker.
There was a poor gook having a real bad day. He hit 2 Marines with the same hand grenade, lands inside the tank, it don't go off, and then we probably killed him. So he was having a real bad
I
day.
think he got demoted after that.
But it had hit both of us, just rolled away. It was a dud, didn't go off.
Yeah,
Every NVA or gook that was out there, we took care of.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that day.
Well,
If that's the same
Now-
firefight I'm thinking about. 'cause
what
we
I
were in
found
Model
We
out-
weren't
1.
out there really that long, were we?
7
I didn't think
hours.
so.
We were?
Yeah.
That didn't seem like it to me, that's why.
Oh, I know, it didn't seem like it to me. I thought like 2 or 3 hours at the most. And then I realized.
That's what I thought,
We
that-
got all done, we drove into Quezon to rearm, and it's getting dark.
Yeah.
Wait a
We
minute, this
went
started
back.
at 7
Yeah,
o'clock in the
that's
morning,
the-
now it's getting dark? We've been here all day doing this stuff.
I don't
It
remember we
just
made
seemed
the
like
trip in.
It just seemed like that.
Now, and as a result of that, in command chronologies, or maybe even reports that you did, Dave, any idea of the number of kills and any of that?
No clue.
According to what I've read later on, the official count was 317 NVA killed.
Wow.
You know?
And that's primarily you guys and maybe
Yeah.
some airstrikes.
Well,
There was
Well,
air, maybe
yeah.
some infantry.
Maybe
those
some-
other guys that got
Yeah.
caught in that,
Yeah, that's
They
where
were
Fred
able
comes in,
to-
because he's on the other end of all this stuff.
Well,
And they're
there
just
was
getting the crap.
Yeah, they had
beat
to
out
fight
of
their
them.
way,
Right.
yeah.
I've talked to guys who were infantry, and they always, their first question is, why the hell did it take you guys so long to get there? Because it was like a good hour that this thing is going on before Dave and his guys can get there from LZ Hawk.
It was that long.
Well, it's a half-hour drive when you drove at normal speed,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I don't-
Yeah,
I
we're
thought
hell
we were-
bent to get there,
Yeah,
but there
we
was a little caution
Yeah,
involved
so
too.
you know.
Because we had to make that turn at Long Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that place didn't have a good rep.
No, it's dangerous at the
Did you have any
Dickens.
grunts with you coming out of Hawk, or just strictly tanks?
Oh, we had infantry. We didn't go up alone.
Yeah, we had some guys on the deck, didn't we? Or did we not?
Well,
No,
we were
weren't they
at
in
the
a
bridge,
six-
we didn't have any.
Weren't they in a six
We
five
had
or
like,
something?
there was
I don't
like
think
maybe
we,
2 squads
I
at
don't
Bridge
remember any
35.
six
when
by.
we
I don't
were-
remember any on
I remember
board.
you
I
guys
don't think they
bringing up
were
a
that
couple
close to us
truckloads.
though when we were doing our thing
Yeah,
though.
I remember you guys bringing a couple of truckloads of grunts.
That's what I'm
Would've
thinking.
been.
I don't think we had anybody on board, but I think there was a,
Yeah, I don't
and
think we'd go busting down the road
Everybody
though up there
walked.
without infantry.
they, right,
I mean,
not in that neighborhood.
Wow.
we had learned our lesson by that time. We had already lost one tank
Yeah,
on a whole different
Yeah.
fucking deal.
yeah.
So now you go into Quezon, spend the night,
Yeah,
rearm,
rearm, and then we,
did you come down with the road steep?
in our
The next
case,
day?
we ended up going back to LZ
Yeah,
Hawk.
we didn't
We-
spend the
We
night.
used
We
to
didn't
sweep it
say-
every day.
We-
We
we
We turned around and went back.
We
sweep
had
the
to go back.
caisson every
Did you go
day.
back- did you go back in the dark?
No,
The gloom.
yeah.
Boom, yeah. Good
blue.
word,
So
good
part
word.
of what we did was sweep every day to Quezon and back, and sweep from Bridge
Yeah.
34 up and down, and then from 34, was it every other day towards Calhoun
LZ
Stud?
Hawk.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
LZ Hawk, we used
Yeah.
to sweep all the way up
Yeah.
to Quezon.
That was part of the deal.
Okay.
But the big one was the caisson,
Yep,
the most dangerous part.
yep,
Because there was
At
a
that time.
convoy came up every day.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave, which is the one that we jumped off the tank and went in and, because remember they lost their leaders? Just outside of LZ Hawk, we went in. They were on another hill, they got wiped out, and we had infantry with us. They went in to the elephant grass. There was 2 of us, 2 tanks. You, myself, and Donnie Bell got off the tank and went in and started pulling the bodies, wounded back and stuff.
That was,
That's right
Well,
there
I'm
in Quezon.
It's right in here.
that we went and got we actually saw the ambush
Yes.
triggered. I remember, I'm looking,
That's
and
what
I
I'm
see
getting
the
them mixed
dust
up.
flying off this kid's flak jacket, and he dropped, and I go, holy shit. And we swept a little bit to the right,
That's
and
another,
actually
that was
saw the
another ambush
ghost.
there.
I made eye contact through the thing, that these guys were coming up that ravine,
Yeah,
and then we got permission to open fire.
we went down in.
But that
We couldn't
was,
get down
what
to
a
the-
deal that was.
So what day
was
is this? Is
different.
is this Foxtrot Ridge, or is this a different day?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. We
That's
went
a
and got those guys.
good
Three
segue.
of us, you were the lieutenant, Dave was the loader, I don't know who was driving. Us 3 got off and went down in because the infantry, the grunts, had frozen because all their leaders were shot by the NVA. We went down in with, I don't even know if we had flak jackets on or not, but we went down in and we started pulling the bodies, they were wounded back, and getting the guys, and Dave was giving orders, and they were moving, and we got everybody back, and a napalm strike come in, and that was it. But I remember bringing guys back wounded, because I can remember guys talking to me, and then we were putting them on the tank, the wounded, and bringing them back into the base in
We
Quezon,
went to Quezon.
to the wounded. I remember that clearly.
We lifted this one guy.
I don't know which firefight that
He'd
was.
been shot through the buttocks.
Yep, I was, yes.
And he goes, how bad is it? I thought, you're good, you're gonna be fine,
Yeah,
son. Just
I
don't
remember
look. And never saw something like that. I mean, the flesh and the fat and that hanging there. And, yeah.
Yeah, that was just outside of LZ Hawk, right?
Yeah. Well, it was on that turn in the
Yeah,
Long Bay.
the turn.
Let's go to
Okay.
Yeah,
Ridge.
my bad.
Okay. 2 days, 3 days later, let's see if I got the day right, May 22nd. So the event we just talked about was May 19th. So now we're here, we are 3 days later. Tell me about Foxtrot Ridge, Tony.
Well, I don't remember too darn much. I think we was, well, I don't know where to start.
Were you doing a road sweep or an operation or a
Well,
patrol?
somewhere in there, we had finished a road sweep,
Okay.
and we got hit at the road sweep. There was rounds coming in just outside a ways, and they had to check fire to see where the fire was coming from. Thought it was friendly fire.
Right.
And I guess an investigation, they stopped and found out it was enemy fire. And that day I know we lost 2 guys off the tank, or I thought we did. The driver and the gunner.
Is that when I got work?
But I don't know where I'm at on
Wasn't
that.
that where Trudeau got? Oh no, that was in April, wasn't it? He got wounded.
No, that's not where Trudeau, I got wounded there and
April 19th.
Well,
That was a whole, where they dropped that mortar in on us.
yeah, well, yeah, and then I was thinking it
That
was
boy
maybe
from Texas,
26.
Madison Gale, he got it and somebody else.
Right, that Dave
Of course,
Gunn.
I jumped in the driver's seat. Yes, sir.
I got hit then. I was wounded with Madison Gale.
Well, I had to drive and I
saw
couldn't remember
you
how to
at
start
the
the thing.
hospital. You were already there.
yeah. Well, the night that James,
Was that a mortar that
Died.
dropped in? Did you get
Yeah,
that
I
day
got
too?
Well, that was
I
April.
was on Bridge 3-5.
Janes got killed in April.
That's what I'm saying, that's the night I got
That was
wounded.
on that swoopy ass night sweep
Yeah.
Yep,
tank and a fire team.
That-
one
or
tank.
something.
On a road.
One tank.
Tell me about that one tank and a night sweep.
This
Oh,
guy,
From Bridge 34.
that damn ass Colonel Davis.
Whose idea was that?
Colonel Davis, this infantry guy, they brought these guys out of
2-3.
Da Nang.
Should've brought
Yep.
Gil up.
You never said.
Yeah.
And they go, well, this is how we do it down here. And I'm going, are you fucking crazy? We're on a single lane road in the mountains.
Yep.
K-Town was a mountainous situation.
You wanna see the picture?
And he wanted to go from LZ Hawk down to the bridge
34, one way, no way out.
In the
Yeah.
dark.
in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, and a tank is a stealth vehicle, as we all know.
You just see the tracks where he left the road. His tank's down in there, but this road made a switch back.
That was Hall's tank.
Yeah, that's where they were
Yeah.
having us run at night.
And a gook jumped down the slope plate with a satchel charge, is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yes,
I'll tell you, the
I thought
guy
it was,
should be here was what,
RPG.
Rodriguez?
satchel charge.
A satchel charge, you
Well,
know.
there's a,
And
there
one
was-
here at the
There
reunion
was an infantry
that
guy
was on
sitting
that
there
tank and got wounded
next to
seven
he's here.
times.
to the driver.
He's
The
here.
And survived. He was
Really?
pronounced dead 3 times, this one guy.
We should have brought him up for that one.
Who's?
He's here at the reunion, he's a grunt.
What's his
Gil,
name?
Gil Hernandez.
Yeah, he was
was sitting there with-
he was the machine gunner, and they were riding on the back of Hall's tank
Yeah.
on the engine cover. And they came around that one corner, and he told me this at the last
That's
reunion.
what I said, we should have brought him up.
And they came around a corner, and the road kind of went down, and it was going to go to the left again.
Yeah, came around.
And they came around that corner, and an NVA soldier stood up and threw a satchel charge at the tank. Apparently in the dark, his aim wasn't real good. Gil says it went right behind him. Missed the tank completely. Well, then they opened up on him, and these guys are jumping off the tank and fighting
Yeah,
and stuff.
the guy that,
The right,
goop
yeah, the
was
zip,
killed.
yeah, and then the
I shot his
zip,
body
here's
up
the
when I
tank,
got
and here's the
He's the
NVA
guy
up
that
on
was
top of the
bi-
ridge shooting down
That
at him.
gook was buried on the side of a hill with
Yes.
his Ho Chi Minh sticking out, and he rotted away. It took a week for him, for his Ho Chi Minhs to flop out, and that colonel was all upset because he wasn't properly buried.
oh man, that fucking
But
clown.
anyway,
And we,
the night-
we were
then they-
ambushed a
a
week
satchel
later
charge
coming
or
up from
something.
3-4.
Yeah.
We were ambushed pretty much the same place.
spot?
That was, yeah, well, a little bit south of it to 34. We were coming the other way, and we already had an immediate action drill, and we had a grunt platoon with us coming up. So we had an immediate action drill. When we got ambushed, we got out of the kill zone and then went back at it. But the grunts had been through their own immediate action drill and assaulted through it because we'd learned that lesson once. It was,
I will say this, I took the first one out. And I know what true fear is. I was so fucking scared I couldn't talk. I just, it's not like we got our lights on or a searchlight. We're in the dark.
yep.
It's just
Is
creepy,
a road like
creepy.
This.
That's pretty much
That's
what the
Route
roads
9.
were.
One
That's
lane
Route
dirt
9.
road, steep on one side going
Yep.
down, steep on the other side going up.
You
Just
you
stuck.
understand that road's only maybe a half a foot wider than the tank.
Flip them pages a couple, you'll see what
There
Route
was
9
some,
looked like.
there was some scary
You know, that's
times going up
terrible
that
for the
road.
middle of the day.
Yeah.
Well, I think it might be.
Yeah. We found out at another ambush where Trudeau was at,
What's going in?
Yeah.
when
That
that
was a-
spotter dropped that smoke and it was next to the tank.
That was
Yeah.
Bridge
Put
28,
my camera
where
back
Golf
right.
Company was wiped out, almost
And
wiped
that
out.
guy goes,
They hit us.
That was April 9th.
that's how close they
I
are.
got a little bit of
And I'm going,
I still have it.
Christ, they're right next to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
How did
16
they
minutes.
get you out of there? Or let me go back, how did they get, did everybody in Hall's tank?
No,
Yeah,
what
Three
happened?
of them got out.
got
Yeah,
out?
Yeah, they were
a
counted
second satchel
MIAs.
charge.
Really?
So the tank went off the road, down the hill,
In the ravine.
and sat at the bottom of the hill
And
in the
then-
river.
With the tracks turning.
Yep.
And that's what
James
started
Eventually
the
it
fire.
started cooking
Yep.
off the
That's
road.
what started the
They
fire.
set the fire with the tracks, just kept turning because they were stuck.
So, how'd you get them out of there? Any idea?
The
Well,
next
They
day.
left the
The
tank.
next
They
day?
Eventually got out of the tank because it
We
was
put
too
him in a
smoky.
sandbag. His
There
body.
wasn't much.
Jimmy
human
James.
was
remains.
left.
Okay.
His,
But I mean,
his
guys-
body was.
Yeah, Gary,
Got out.
The other three
Gary,
escaped.
John, and I can't remember his gunner's name anymore.
I don't remember either.
But they three got, the three
They got-
survivors
the
got out of
Italian
the
guy
tank.
from Chicago.
Yeah, they got out of the tank and they hid in the
Louis-
weeds all night.
Louis Borriello, is that
And
right?
that might be it.
Sounds boring.
And the rescue force didn't get down there until the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So they spent the whole night with the MVA roaming all over.
yeah.
And like he said, they sent a tank down or something, went down and pick up James's body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gunny
'Cause I was-
Jones and
I was
Glenn
the tank
Hutchins.
No
that went
tank
down.
went down there. You couldn't get down there.
No.
Well, it was a
That-
couple
that-
days
that
later.
was-
Right.
But they
All
went,
on
Gunny
the
Jones and Glenn Hutchins went down a couple
Gunny
days later
Jones, that's
to
the
retrieve
guy.
the body. And
Yeah,
according to Glenn, they brought him back in a sandbag.
yeah.
Well, in those
Cause he was
days,
from Tennessee.
I was
yeah,
still there, they didn't
and in
meddle
the
with
heat
that.
and
Chucky,
humidity,
Tennessee.
there's a certain rapid rate
Oh,
of
yeah.
decomposition
Yeah.
that makes things pretty difficult.
Yeah.
Well, tropical, man.
Yeah.
Don't take long.
Was a tank blown in place? Did you get it out of?
Blowing. It was-
The rounds were cooking off.
It
was
already,
already-
it blew itself
it
up
already
during
We
the.
kinda left it there.
Yeah.
When we,
It
when we
was-
finally
it was-
evacuated Quezon,
Right.
it was still there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burnt and cooked off.
Ain't too
during
much
the
you can
night.
do with it.
Gary Hall went back about
54
35 years
ton
later and
vehicle.
it wasn't there anymore. They'd salvaged it.
Yeah, it
wasn't
was,
there.
it burned.
Just a
right
couple
up.
of weeks earlier.
Really.
So
That's
this,
it.
According
this
to
is
Gary.
different than Foxtrot Ridge,
Right.
which is the question you asked Tony.
Yeah, that,
Yeah, we
Yeah,
diverted here
when you
because,
said a night, single tank night operation,
oh, it's insane.
Real dumb.
and did you ever go out at night in your entire tours, other than that time?
No,
We had
yeah.
other nighttime adventures, but that was
That was
when they
just-
parked us on the Quaviat and we became infantry.
Now, when,
And that was scary.
when I joined,
I
okay,
remember that.
to answer your question, when I joined the platoon, which was after the first run-up on Pegasus, on the second run-up, that was at night.
So that whole event just.
But that was the whole
Pegasus.
platoon. That wasn't one.
Pegasus started April 1st.
Yeah.
Gary Hall, well, Lieutenant Himes was the, I don't know why Gary Hall and I was in there, because we was in Charlie Company and Hall was in Bravo Company. I don't know why
Yes.
Gary
Yeah.
Hall and I
That's
were
why I
in.
can't remember how we got.
But there was three of us on Pegasus, which that's what those pictures
Something
are.
happened where we.
Was you one of them?
On the first
Yes,
run-up.
I
The
was.
first up.
On the first run-up.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my claim to fame.
But on the
Only
second,
thing I can say.
but on the second run-up, that was
Well,
the middle of the
wasn't
night. It
Himes the
was
platoon-
pitch
leader on it, or
black.
was you?
So it was a tank
There was only three
infantry
tanks, mine,
going up,
Hall's,
and it was
must have been
slow.
yours then.
And I take it you operated in 2 tank units and 3 tank units? Did you
And
ever
one-
have
and
five?
That was the
tank
whole
unit.
platoon.
Well,
On
you
the
had
second
all two
run-up,
tanks.
that was the whole platoon, all 5 tanks,
Is
because
that-
we left So on one side of the Caloo down there is VanDeBogart, the other side was Stud. I guess we left Stud, which is where I joined the platoon, and Gunny Jones.
Well, VanDeBogart was done.
Well, on either side of the river.
The initial part of
Okay, yeah.
the operation
Anyway,
when
so-
the cab went in.
Right, so we went up there and, golly, I ground guided, my tank, walked in front of it, you know, and, walked up from bridge, pick a number, 28, whatever, and, there you go, that's how we get back there. Yeah.
Well, 28 was sort of a lethal area. That's where that gunnery sergeant had his mule, that little go-kart type thing. He had a mine up there and was killed in that area. See, if I'm not mistaken, at 28, they had to do a bypass at first.
It was just a
Right.
culvert pipe, really
Yeah.
wasn't a bridge, it was a culvert pipe.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they had the other thing, but that was side of real.
Now, during this time, the Route 9, was it paved? Or during
Never was.
Yeah, it was
There was
paved.
a time that it was paved.
Well, so
Not
there
after
were,
that, but-
there
when we were
were
up there.
combat
Really?
engineers made,
Paved roads.
Right
at
down
all.
the sidewalks,
Right.
right?
and one of the major sweats from Dave was us getting on one of these combat engineer bridges and it collapsing with one of his tanks on it.
You wait.
And that was a matter of some concern at the time.
Yeah, I was a little nervous, Nelly, about
We had
things.
that
And he
pontoon
shared that
bridge
with all of
at
us.
32,
Yeah.
that pontoon
He
bridge.
was interested in not losing a tank.
Oh, yeah, crossing over.
Yeah, you're gonna sink.
It
Gonna
was
sink.
amazing.
Yeah, and the tank is 11
Just
feet,
go
11 and a
slow,
half
but
inches
go
wide, and
slow.
the bridge is
Don't
12
think.
foot wide.
Go slow.
Yeah, it's,
No space.
you know, you kind of like creep across it and you just wonder if the harmonics are gonna cause a detachment on one side or the other, or in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's part of the deal.
But we never had a problem outside of, me shitting myself the first couple of times.
The other than that, it was normal.
Yeah.
But just, okay. We didn't race over them.
We got
I
about
went-
15 minutes
I went
left.
across, hooked up
Any-
retriever. Remember when
So-
that one sponsor box where that was my tank that was hooked on that retriever?
Yes, I
Them
know.
engineers were gonna let us, they were standing in front, we were gonna let us cross, cause retriever weighed more than we did, we're hooked together. Said that, finally whoever the TC on the retriever was, he just revved it up and everybody jumped off the bridge and he went across and we made it, but didn't tear the bridge out.
So on Foxtrot Bridge, it is incidental that it was Company F, not Echo or Golf.
Okay.
But Fox was on the ridge that time. It was directly across from Hawk, and they rotated companies between 34 and the CP and the Ridge and Bridge 35. And at any rate, what I remember, y'all correct me, is it was night and there was shooting on the ridge and battalion was shooting its 82 Illums. And then Artie was shooting its 105 Illums, and then Puff showed up and lit up everything and shot up everything. And then Dave got the call, so we did another reaction force, went down the road to Lang Bay, Caissonville, and pulled off in a place where we could shoot. And we couldn't really shoot because the friendlies
We're up on the hill.
were on the hill, and then at first light, we could actually see the gooch running all around, and we were shooting at them.
Yes.
We were shooting at them. It
How
was
many tanks?
3
3.
heavy section. It was a great big fight, and then the dead and wounded were being evacuated to us, and we had this talk earlier. So we were putting the dead and wounded on our tanks, and Darrell, I guess you're taking some to Caisson. I was taking some to Hawk. And this is where apparently some fellow went MIA. Lance Corporal name, I forget.
Corporal Gatewood.
And we had no idea because we were shooting and evacuating and rotating, and we were diligent, as you might imagine. Everybody hang on, and the grunts were very interested in hanging on. Nobody was interested in detaching themselves from their way out of there. So it was a pretty big
Yeah,
fight.
I did finish that MIA story I was telling you earlier.
Yes, sir.
You know, they interviewed you and I was hauling the bodies.
Yep.
I said we couldn't account. Well, there was one sponsor box that had that same, does anybody know anything about this guy, Tankers?
Yep.
It had in parentheses, this kid was an Afro-American. Well, that day, one of the bodies, when I was hauling them back, we got ambushed. well, of course, the grunts all, whoever's on the back
Yep.
gun, they jumped off. I swung the gun around, we're doing some fire, and I swung it back, and everybody gets hollering, hey, you're crushing him, I crushed the head of a black kid. And I swung it back, and they threw a poncho. We went back to the Hawk, and I offloaded him, and had this number to call in Washington, D.C. He called some Army Staff Sergeant.
Top Miller.
I believe maybe it was.
Yes, sir.
I said, I don't know, completely incorrect, so I don't know if this is the boy you're looking for. But I said, I procrastinated for about a week. Do I really want to call? And I said, I crushed Afro-American. He got all excited. He said, well, he was the only black that was killed that day. They'd been concentrating on tankers. Last time anybody remembered, he was on the fender, but they were on a tank. They put his body on a tank, and they lost him. I said, well, I took him to LZ Hawk, and they
he was
offloaded
an
him.
infantry guy.
He was an infantry, but they'd loaded his body.
You guys were saying we had never.
No, but I said,
No,
I remember
not your
when they
platoon,
threw
no.
that poncho over him, I seen a black arm hanging out underneath the poncho. And I said, he said, well, that was the only black that was killed that day. He got all excited, well, we're gonna start concentrating on truckers, whoever, because they've been concentrating on tanks. That's the last time anybody can remember him. So it's funny how all this can, but somebody put in that article in the sponsor box in parentheses that he was an Afro-American. Otherwise, I wouldn't have gave it a thought.
So we would leave that firing position with dead and wounded from 2-3. And I was going to the Hawk BAS, and I guess you're going to the BAS at Quezon. And then we go back, and we're shooting 90 that day. And the Gooks were visible and running on that hill. It was an active fight, and those fellows from 2-3 were in it up to their ears. Yep.
Well, that particular day, I went back to the Hawk. I was supposed to go up to Quezon, but.
So you went to the Hawk too?
We went back to the Hawk.
Okay, because I never went to Quezon that day. I kept going back and forth to the Hawk.
Well, I was supposed to go to Quezon, but
Yep.
that particular day, it was closer to get back to
Yep.
the. We didn't know how big that ambush was up the road.
So there was lots of enemy in that whole area, and it was a very active time. Dave was a platoon leader. He's been recognized for his efforts, and we were just part of that platoon.
Bogey, is that where you made the shot?
Yeah.
They had, they couldn't get the helicopters in because there was a single NBA soldier up there with a machine gun that was keeping things up. And we actually saw this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know.
He had a mortar or something, I can't remember.
No, he had a machine gun.
Oh, a machine gun,
The
yeah.
reason I'll
I remember making a shot.
I'll add more flour to it.
Okay.
We could see him. Well, we knew we couldn't use HE. Couldn't use Flechette. We'd already tried that on the flat. We used a solid shot. One time I ever fired a damn thing.
It was actually an anti-tank round.
And we hit that guy
How far away?
Well,
1,000 yards or more.
quite a ways.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's a pretty good shot.
It was unbelievable.
I was,
Just eyeball
I was
that?
known for being a good gunner.
He
So
was.
you vaporized it.
Bogey, did you just eyeball it?
He was able to do that,
eyeballed
but
it.
Blind Man
I was a
Dave
good gunner.
got
I
that
don't care.
coincidental
Yeah.
reticle.
If I missed
And that
anything with the
son of a
first shot, I
bitch
got it
was
with the
dead
second.
on.
Nice.
And there was an object that flew high into the air. And I have always surmised it was that guy's head inside his helmet.
Very nice.
At a point in time, weeks later, when we had sort of drifted back to what you could call civilization, I got a call to get in a Jeep and go, and there was an infantry group there. And the guy says, we got a present for you. And it was a machine gun from that hole.
Is there?
He says, you guys earned this. And I go, okay.
Were we at Julin then?
I don't.
Because when we evacuated Hawk, I remember going to battalion maintenance, and then we went to Julin. Seems like we spent a while at Julin.
Yeah. We were in.
I
All
was
those
at Camlo Hill,
5.5 shooting
Camlo
all the
Hill for
time.
a while. When I rotated home, was at Camlo Hill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was August, right?
that was a lot of fun there too.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't as bad. The later in my life in that area was very bad.
Yeah.
But
It was quiet when I rotated
we
home.
took that
Well, they knew
machine
you-
gun and
they
made
knew
it,
you were leaving.
hooked it up for the driver, so we had some personal comfort.
Wow.
But that,
Yeah,
it
it's
ju-
good. I
just
remember that now. Put that aside there.
the absurdity of war and whatever, but to actually attempt that shot and him to get it and me to tweak it and actually, because It's the only way we could have done it. They could not get this guy. And they were hurting up on that hill bad, and for a lot of reasons. They had been in the shit, what,
Since that night.
24 hours almost.
Pretty much. It was heavy contact for them.
Yeah.
Yep,
And they were on the edge, they were on the brink.
yep.
And I'm not saying we did anything, but we took out an obstacle that allowed them to finally be able to get some helicopter assets in there.
I don't remember any fixed wing air. It was close combat for the fellows on the ridge.
Very great day. I
Yeah.
remember that, very
Yeah.
great.
Yep.
And up there, you know, you could get the fog move in, the clouds move low.
Yeah.
Anybody ever recall that incident where that Skyhawk got hit and we actually saw the
Oh, yeah, the pilot
hit?
eject.
There was
yes.
two. There was two on that big hill.
That was it.
Big hill to the
I
right.
recall the one, and we all
remember that.
sat there,
Yeah.
and we watched that guy coming down,
Yep.
and that was, we go, whoa.
But there was another one who got hit, and he did whatever pilots do, put it in afterburn or whatever, and he was gone. The other fellow splashed
Yeah,
into the hill, splashed into the hill. But that other fellow that got hit, and I thought it was an F4, the Skyhawk got shot down, it was a Navy Skyhawk, got shot down at Quezon,
Yeah.
spent the night at Quezon. The next day, if you fellows remember, he came over the airstrip inverted, very low. He was glad to leave. But those two F4s, one splashed, it was just like a napalm strike, it was ugly. And the other fella got hit, and he goosed it, and he was nothing but a dot. He was gone. Yeah.
Guys, we're out of time, but this is fantastic. I mean, you guys really put together good views and what you saw, where you were, what you did. It's incredible, and I appreciate you
well,
sharing this with us.
I gotta be honest, and those were events a long time ago, and we haven't sat around in the room and rehearsed this.
No.
And as they said things,
And it had to
things
be
came
driving.
back to me,
Yeah.
and, you know,
All I remember is getting hit by that.
my view of a lot of that is a little bit different, I guess, only in that
Sitting
I
there
get
at night,
confused, you know, I stayed for 24
watching
in
these
different
guys on
actions,
this hill,
different areas,
the shit blowing
and
up.
but due to
Being
these
told
guys'
we couldn't
memory
do
and
nothing.
whatnot, I was able to hit that.
That's why I wanted to talk to platoons and crews, because,
Yeah.
you know, you all remember, one says, oh yeah, here's what happened, and all of a sudden they chime in, and you get the story like this that touches basically a lot of bases that you wouldn't cover one-on-one.
So we're all there together at the same time.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you
always
gotta-
interesting.
Now that we're off camera, I'll tell you a good joke story.
Oh, wait, we're out.
It's still on.
But just
Hold
think
that.
about it,
Hold that.
a loader,
Yeah.
what could he really tell you? That guy's down the bowels